Hello, this is the Irish Sea. Across in the distance is Scotland, and I'm in England. Nearly 2,000 years ago, this location in the far northwest of England, Bowness-on-Solway, was site of a Roman fort that guarded a distant corner of the empire. Today it marks the official start of the Hadrian's Wall Path National Trail, beside the frontier that the Romans built along the northern edge of their empire to keep out the troublesome Scots. The trail runs for 84 miles to Wallsend, near Newcastle on the North Sea, but I'm going halfway to the official centre of Britain, the town of Haltwhistle. There's a signpost up there which says Rome 1,150 miles. That's almost as daunting as the one in my head, which is Haltwhistle 42. And this is how I'm aiming to get there. I hope I don't fold before my folding bike does. But before I set off, Solway Firth is worth a pause. It's the lowest fording point between what is now England and Scotland. Yes, at low tide, people and animals cross the water. In 1869, the longest bridge in Europe was built across the estuary. The Solway Viaduct was over a mile long, taking trains from Bowness in England to Annan in Scotland. But within 12 years, an extreme winter saw it damaged by actual icebergs, and by 1935 it was demolished. Today, Solway Firth is an area of outstanding natural beauty with plenty of bird life. Time to hit the road, which initially doesn't quite hint at the glories ahead, and there's no sign of the fortifications that were established 19 centuries ago. Now approaching Carlisle, a city that's best not seen from the modern dual carriageway that sweeps around the north of the border city, though you do get a glimpse of the handsome castle. On the other side of this inelegant highway stands Tully House, a Jacobean mansion that became the city's Institute of Science, Literature and Art, and has been transformed once again into a museum that provides all the information and inspiration you need on Hadrian's Wall in the Roman Frontier Gallery. It's mostly uphill from here. The Romans sensibly chose the narrowest and lowest course for their wall, carving between the Pennines and the Cheviot Hills, but there's still plenty of high country.
Well, that was a horrible bit of road just over there. Lorries not giving you any space at all. But I've turned off to come and have a look at Carlisle Airport, the UK's newest airport, and by the looks of things, one of the quietest.
Carlisle Lake District Airport reopened in July 2019 as a more tranquil alternative to Edinburgh, Glasgow, Prestwick and Newcastle. It's certainly not the most stressful airport in Britain. And nearby Brampton is not the most stressful market town in Britain, just one of the loveliest, with a very special place of worship.
Several things going on. Obviously my legs are getting a little, they're beginning to feel it. My rear is definitely feeling it, and well, the bike's keeping going, but it's probably got longer legs than me. I'm going into beautiful St Martin's Church.
St Martin's is more than a place of worship. It's also an art gallery featuring the pre-Raphaelite work of Edward Burne-Jones, with stained glass windows that were put together in the workshops of William Morris. It is uplifting in every way. Most beautiful of all, hope, charity and faith.
But there's sustenance for the body as well as the soul in Brampton. This is Mr. Brown's, a splendid cafe where I'd actually like to spend the rest of the day, along with the splendid staff.
And here is the Visitors Centre, which I would say is a moot point. It's the ancient Moot Hall and it's octagonal.
The moot point also provides a viewpoint, so you can survey this Cumbrian town in its modest glory, with its many amenities such as Cranston's Food Hall and the Nag's Head pub. If you need some wellness and indulgence, Brampton even has a spa. I'm here all week. Time to get back on my bike. Fortunately, I can now branch away from the main road and start enjoying some of the scenery that's so different from the more popular side of Cumbria, the Lake District. When you're cycling, the difference between happiness and glumness is the gradient and the wind direction. At the moment, it's slightly uphill, but the breeze on my back is being kind, as are the drivers of Cumbria. Country lanes can lead to some magical encounters, such as Lanecost Priory, where you can sense the echoes of the Augustinian community that worshipped here. It's had a troubled history, finding itself on the front line of the long Anglo-Scottish wars. Robert Bruce himself once attacked the priory and stayed here for 3 days, committing infinite evils in the process. In the 700-year-old church, you can feel the spirit of the ancients. Talking of which, a centuries-old relic that has survived in remarkable shape. No, not me. The fact that I'm cycling beside Hadrian's wall. It is so exciting to imagine the lives that will have been defined by this barrier, and to enjoy the magnificent scenery. And all without falling off my bike. Yet. England's green and pleasant land reaches a grand finale in Cumbria and Northumberland, and whether you're cycling, walking or on the Hadrian's Wall bus number AD 122, this is a travel joy. So I've slowed to walking pace, not my walking pace either, cattle's walking pace, I've been told by the cowboy who's on the quad bike up there, that I must not cycle past them, and obviously I will take his advice on that. I still find it difficult to conceive that I'm cycling beside what was once a mighty international frontier. And here's a slightly less mighty border. Since I set the controls for the heart of Britain, this is the best stretch, a dedicated bike path courtesy of Sustrans, the cycling charity. And if you haven't got a bike, you could always make do with an open-top Marlin Roadster. Sustrans Route 72 is also known as Hadrian's Cycleway, following quiet lanes through tranquil scenery until you reach the official centre of Britain. Well, I've called a halt at Holt Whistle, which is the centre of Britain. Yes, it must be, because the centre of Britain laundrette is beside me, and there's also a centre of Britain sweet shop, army surplus store, hotel and restaurant. How's the centre of Britain defined? Well, Holt Whistle is the halfway point on the longest north-south axis between Orkney in Scotland and the south coast of England. It's also handily about halfway between the Irish Sea and the North Sea, and a great place to break your journey on the wonder of Britain that is Hadrian's Wall, one of the best things the Romans ever did for us.